Hey, Mr. Soohoo. So for our first learning target in Unit 11, we're going to be just looking at this set of numbers, which is the scores from a test that a class took. And for our first term, the outlier, it's just the number that is furthest from the set. So 1 is just the smallest number, and it's kind of just outlying outside of the common set of numbers. So 1 is the outlier. The mean you find by you add all the numbers together in the set of data and you divide it by the total, which gets us 6.81 as the mean. The median is found by lining the numbers up in numerical order and finding a number in the middle, which happens to be 7. The mode is the number that occurs most frequently, so that would also be 7 because it occurs 9 times. The range is the maximum minus the minimum, the maximum being 10 and the minimum being 1 for this set of numbers. And the spread is just the total amount of numbers it goes to, which should be 1 to 10 for this set of data. And yeah, there's the 5-number summary, which consists of the minimum, quarter 1, median, quarter 3, and the maximum. And the interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1.
Here, the number of purchases is illustrated in a graph. So, as you can see, with the frequency, it is from 2 to 1, very, very low. 4 to 6 is increasing, and the highest frequency of items purchased is between 6 and 8. It seems to decrease right there, and then gets the lowest towards the end. Here, the relative frequency of purchase is shown. 1 in 37 customers has purchased it, so it's 0.03. No one has purchased 2 to 4 items. People have purchased 4 to 6 items 7 times, so it rounds to the 19th place. Dividing 7 by 37. So on and so forth for the rest of this is how you would determine the frequency. What's up, Mr. Soohoo? So for this problem, we're viewing the sales of Food Mart. So people will go into Food Mart and buy a certain number of items. With 37 items bought total, we're going to see like the frequency of how many items people buy. So if they only go in and buy 1, we would graph it as a dot on 1. But if people go in and say buy 4 items, and 3 people did it, there would be 3 dots. So on and so forth. Illustrated on this box plot, you see the highest frequency of sales is between purchasing 6 items and 8 items. Shown right there.
Hey, Mr. Soohoo. So for this learning target, I'm going to be explaining normal distribution and how to calculate standard deviation and how it can be used and related to the mean. So to find standard deviation, you're going to take your set of numbers and you're just going to start with number 1 and subtract the mean, which is 6.81, and square it, and do that for every number in the set of data and add them all up together to get a sum. That sum would be 133. Then you divide it by the total amount of numbers in the set of data, which happens to be 37. That will get you about 3.6, and then you just square root that to get your standard deviation. So our standard deviation for this set of numbers is 1.901. So what you do first is you put the mean right here, which is 6.81 in the center, and then you just add standard deviations to the right or left. So one standard deviation would be 8.712, 10.6, and then subtracting standard deviations going to the left. So what these percentages mean is that 68%, adding the 34% together, of the data will fall in these 2 little boxes, and then in the next standard deviation over, 2 standard deviations over, 95% of the data will fall within 2 standard deviations, and 99.7% of the data will fall within 3 standard deviations. So that's how the percentages relate to the bell curve on the graph, and what the mean and how the standard deviation relates when you graph. Alright, Mr. Soohoo, so now I'm going to reflect on the life lesson that you gave us as our last one, and it was just about achieving our goals. And I just thought it was really helpful for you to just address us as a class on how to schedule our life and manage what we have to do and be able to put one foot in front of another and kind of just be able to lay out our goals for our future and just be able to think about it and know what we're going to do beyond high school. And it's just really helpful to just get the thoughts in your head about what you want to do in life. So, thank you.